And welcome back to the Angry Teacher channel. I'm Richard Williams, the Angry Teacher, and today I'm going to be giving you a couple of tips or strategies, rather, maybe 8 or 9, possibly 10, if I can get that out, about teaching speeches or going over speeches with your students. If it sounds like something you want to be a part of, hey, then by all means, watch till the end and interact, ask me questions, send them in the comments, and I'll respond. If not, humor me, you might click out, but come back later because you know there's going to be a dope Angry Teacher video just for you to see, alright? With that said, if this is your first time, thanks for coming. If you've been here before, thanks for coming. You know, I love you to death. Thank you for being a part of the Angry Teacher fam. New people, join the Angry Teacher fam. Check out my email list below. Send you tons of stuff, fun stuff that you can use as we get to know each other, as you get to teach your students, as we get to our kids to be productive members of society. All right, let's get into it. Now, one of the strategies I use when I teach, by the way, I've been teaching, this is 20-something years, in 24, I believe, and I've taught AP Lang for a lot of those years. I can't remember the exact number, but it's been a while, at least 7, 8+ years. And how I teach speech is, I'm going to try to throw some stuff in there. So number 1, study famous speeches. In order for me to know how to make one or how to do one or how to analyze one, I have to study others. And there's a website I use, I think it's called 100 Famous American Speeches or something to that effect. I'll let you know if I remember. I'll drop it in the description. But we study those and we rip it apart, we talk about them and we discuss them, we watch some, and even some new ones, that whichever good ones I can find, we kind of look it apart. And you know what, even the bad ones, as long as they're famous, we go over them and study them, because once again, if I want to be on that level or I want to know what not to do, then I'm going to watch some famous speeches and see why these have some form of allure. Number 2, identify rhetorical devices or techniques used, and that's essential because I need to know what to look for when I'm reading a speech, or what is in a speech, or what I need to put in my speech when I give them. So students have to break them apart. I have lots of different handouts, lots of different activities where they highlight, circle, talk to each other about what the rhetorical devices do. Not just that they're in there, but the effects of these rhetorical techniques on the speech. Analyze the speech structure. Number 3. So yes, a speech is, and I tell my kids all the time, a speech is a spoken essay. You still have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So you still have to hook me. You still have to get me involved or get me wanting to pay attention to you. You have to have something to say to keep my attention, and then you have to wrap it up. Now with that attention, what am I going to do after I've heard this speech? And so we have to be able to analyze this speech and how it looks and how it speaks. How does it sound? Look at the structure, listen to the structure, and figure out what needs to be done in certain parts of it. Number 4, and this is the part that they push back a little bit, but they have to practice public speaking. So I give them presentations. We do the baby ones, you do the group ones. You do something where it's not hurting too much because it's easier to figure out. Now when you're practicing your speaking, your presentation skills, and you have a speech to give, you can use your index cards, you can use your phones, but you have to be able to stand there for an extended period of time and go over something that we've already discussed or that you're sharing with us all by yourself. So that's a part of the curriculum. They have to learn how to speak out in front of their peers. Number 5, and this is an overlooked part a lot, an overlooked strategy or skill, but they have to research and prepare that research in a way that makes sense. They can't just sprout off at the mouth about some topic that they think they know something about because they read a TikTok blurb. They have to be able to research something and speak on that research that they've done. Now, the research doesn't have to be extensive. It doesn't have to be like an entire research paper before they do the speech, but they have to be able to look up some sources on the topic and look at counter arguments on the topic and see if it's a topic well enough or good enough rather, for them to share with the rest of the class. Sometimes I give them topics, sometimes I let them choose, and then they have to run with it and go find the research. And sometimes I'll allow maybe 2 sources that can justify whatever you want to tell us, okay? But they have to do the research. They have to realize that's a part of speech. And the research also could be just knowing who your audience is. As a matter of fact, that's number 6. They have to know the SOAPSTONEs, and they have to know the SPACECATs. They have to know the different parts of the speech. They have to know who their audience is. So when they've done the research, that is a part of finding out, is my audience going to need this information? Is my audience going to respond to this information? Is my audience going to even like this information? Because I needed to have done the research. I need to know why I'm giving this speech and why it matters to my audience. If it's to a bunch of students, my tone has to be specific. I can't scream at them the whole way because they're not good. They're going to tune me out. As a speaker, I'm going to have to know how to navigate this space. So knowing your audience is a part of it. Being able to analyze who the speech is for and what the speech is for goes back to the SOAPSTONE worksheets and the SPACECAT worksheets, and however I can get them to break it down before they share it with us. So once again, I'm going to try to drop that information down below in the description so you can check out. I have some resources on TPT, so you can check them out and use them for your classrooms. A huge part of my class, I think this is number 6, I'm not sure, but feedback and rehearsals. So the kids have to practice. They have an opportunity. Sometimes I'll have them do it on video, so I'll watch it first and give them, and we make a big deal out of it. We have a viewing party where we watch their quick videos, and then we're eating and just talking and giving them feedback in a jovial manner. And then they take that information, they write it down, and then they go practice. And then when the actual time comes about, then we have to, we're killing it. We're doing the best we can because we've been given the feedback already, and we know what we're doing. We've rehearsed several times, and we're good at it at this point. I'll have them share out with each other in groups, in pairs, and then the final presentation, which in a couple of weeks comes up for my AP Lang kids. They're going to have to present their research papers and give their speeches about different topics. So after the test, we're killing it. That's all we're doing. Number 7 is incorporating technology. And like I said, I had them create videos, or they can use their phones when they're going over their notes. They don't have to use index cards anymore unless they want to. But I have to get it in. And sometimes for presentations, I allow them to use my Promethean board, and they can swipe, or they can use a YouTube video to kind of justify, or a TED Talks video to kind of justify some argument that they have. So I'm not too picky about that, but I'm just trying to get them to the next level. They can use as much technology as they need to, as long as there is some form of them speaking in front of us for an extended period of time. And number 8, they need to be able to reflect and evaluate themselves as speakers of speeches or others. So you don't just sit and relax when somebody else is up there giving a speech. Away from the fact that it's intimidating, I want my kids, the audience, to pay attention as well. So I'm going to give you a rubric of how to evaluate speakers. Got that in the store too. Check it out. I'm going to try to remember to drop the link in the description. If not, once again, join my email list. Let me know, hey Rich, I needed such and such. You said it in the video. Can you ship it off to me, please? Some of them are free, some are not. But just let me know which one you need. Obviously, the paid ones have a little bit more in it. Some with the freebies, you'll be able to use them anyway. So it just depends on what you need. But the feedback is essential. You're not just going to hear from me. You're going to hear from your peers telling you, maybe you said too much, or maybe you moved around too much. Maybe your gesticulation took away from what you had to say. and whatever those responses are, you'll use it, and I have them do a response afterwards, a reflection, if you will, and give them another grade for it, because it's a skill you need. Even if you don't master it right now in middle or high school, then you know what, when you get to the next level, it'll become a lot easier and easier and easier, and you'll become a pro at it. So those are my 8 tips. I believe it was 8 about how to teach or speeches to your students, and how to have them interact and become more confident speakers and more confident at giving speeches. If you like this kind of content, I appreciate if you like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for the next dope agri-teacher video like this, or don't forget to share it with others so that the algorithm for YouTube will work in my favor and get to sit in front of more teachers who are trying to teach this generation. All right, so I'll catch you in the next video. I love you guys.